These woods belong to something else.
Sometimes dead is better.
So I just saw Pet Semetary, and oh boy. The movie's directed by Kevin Kolsch and David Widmer. The movie stars John Lithgow and Jason Clarke. The movie's about the Creed family, and they move to this new house, and on their property is this creepy pet cemetery, and then all sorts of bad things happen. I've never been a big fan of the original movie, so going in, I didn't really have any expectations. This has never been a Stephen King story I really was attracted to. It's not as good as It or Shawshank or other Stephen King adaptations. In fact, it's probably one of my least favorites. I even like the TV movies better than this, like The Langoliers and The Stand. So minor spoilers. They changed some things from the original movie. Instead of Gage, the little boy, dying, this time it's his daughter. And that change didn't really bother me up until the ending. They drastically changed the ending, and I wasn't a fan. I feel like the ending in the original movie was a lot scarier. This one just seemed to have a bunch of cheap jump scares. Now, technically speaking, it is a better movie than the original. Cinematography is way better, the acting is way better, special effects are way better. So you have the character of Judd, played by John Lithgow, who warns them of the Pet Semetary, and he's the one that kind of like does the exposition for the Pet Semetary. But then you also have this other character named Pascal, who also gives explanation and exposition for the Pet Semetary. And I was like, why is there a need for these two characters? And the original movie had the same problem. The main character, Jason Clarke plays, he's the person we're following, and he's just boring as hell. Just this bland, wet noodle. So the hype around this movie was like, oh, Zelda, the sister with like the spine disease that was like really creepy. They're like, oh, Zelda's really terrifying in this movie. And I found Zelda in the original way more scary.
I finally came back for you, Rachel. I'm going to twist your back like mine, so you'll never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again!
And to me, things that are more terrifying are things that linger on screen longer. And just the way that Zelda like ran towards the camera in the original, that was an image that always stuck with me, that I always found pretty unnerving. But honestly, it's a boring movie. I would skip it. I mean, if you're a big Stephen King fan, I think you'll have some fun with it. Or if you grew up with the original Pet Semetary and it's just a movie that terrified you, I think you might have some enjoyment in it. I didn't see the original Pet Semetary till later on in life, and so when I finally did see it, it bored the shit out of me, and this movie bored the shit out of me. I was falling asleep in the theater, honestly. I would give this movie a 5 out of 10. Just wait for it to come on streaming sites. It's just a mediocre horror movie. There are way better Stephen King adaptations. In the end, it didn't really click with me. So, but like I said, if you like Stephen King movies and stories, I think you'll enjoy it. But as a horror movie fan, it just was lackluster. A bunch of cheap jump scares and just boring story. Just wait if you want to go see it. Don't spend your money. Don't spend, the $10, $15 for the movie theater. But yeah, I hope you like the review.